Ridge, go north on Liberty, and when you get to Skyler, turn right.
Well,
I
that's
got
good.
there at 6:30, they said, sir, you won't get to all the east-west went west, and everything else west. I said, I can't get to court, they said, no.
Yeah, wow, I didn't know that.
So I came home.
Gentlemen, would you call the meeting to order? Would everybody identify himself for the record?
Selco Richard, Executive Director.
Dave Scarlett.
Ken Stevens.
Jerry Brown. John Carroll Smith.
Tom Gillen.
Mike Shannon.
Jerry Hamill. Mike Carroll's not here this evening. We have a couple of guests, one who's here to be with us, and one who is member of the public. Motion's in order to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Brown. Does anyone have any questions or comments that need to be addressed before we vote on this?
I was just kind of wondering who the Shanley Law Offices is.
I'm straight.
No.
I know.
Okay, no question? All in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimously approved. That gets us to item 2 on the agenda, reports, which is exhibit C. Zelko?
Right. 2 seconds. Basically, what I want to give you an update on a couple of things. We have been successful on obtaining a couple of grants. We think we are successful with the USDA grant, and a certain number of this board had a lot to do with it. See next to my left. Yeah. It was a lot of help. We're doing rather well there. We also heard on a security grant, we were the #1 rated in the state. So, you know, as all, I'll give kudos to Bill Scriber. I mean, we did a good job putting it together. We also hear a lot of good news regarding some of the state grant that we have put in for the expansion of our facilities. So that's all great news and very positive. Once we hear definitely, we'll bring it to the board. You have to accept the funds and so on and so forth. The other thing that I have attached is our production on barges. We are doing 3 times the volume that we have normally done. Production continues to do well. One of our worst barges was the last one that we had, and we have some discussion how to improve it, and I'll give you more of an update later. We have some personnel issues that we have to deal with. Although you approved the accounts receivable, accounts payable, I do want to highlight, if you looked at the numbers, we're well above last year's numbers. We're well above last year's numbers in terms of revenue. We're well above last year's numbers in terms of what's going on. The accounts receivables, I mean, those ailments have been cured. One of the things I've been spending a lot of time on lately is the marina. We have some issues with our fuel dock. We're facing a $750,000 expenditure down there to replace that dock. We have some rather harsh emails going back and forth between me and the engineer. I don't think those folks down there realize how much money marina costs. There's some high dollars to be expended in the marina. And we gotta look at it. I'm not in agreement with the engineer. We just had some words this morning. We're negotiating basically. And I used Mike Shanley's name more than once. So that's going on. We're going back and forth. I mean, we don't have $1 million to put in a fuel dock. It's ridiculous. That's a lot of money. $1 million for a fuel dock. That's a lot of money. It's $750. It's almost $850,000. No, it's an outside. It's a Moffett nickel.
Oh, boy.
It's $1,000 that's a lot of gas. I mean, that was put back, that was put back in years. So we're gonna go, there's gotta be a better way. We met with the fishermen not too long ago. We have some ideas there, spent some time up there. I'm gonna have another meeting with them. So stay tuned for the marina. I think I'm gonna have a lot to say in the next session. Be rather positive, I think, but it's going to be, in the short term, we have to operate where we are in the short term, but I think next month we're going to see some new concepts, new ideas there. The other thing I want to report is that the chairman does wake up well at 3 a.m. in the morning. We flew to New York to meet before New York, New Jersey. The whole issue of central ports of New York is taking hold. It's doing rather well. We met with Port Authority, New York, New Jersey. As chairman can tell you, I'm very close to those folks. I mean, it's as mayor as you, it's almost family to the point that we have some really good news. We have some really good positive things that we can do with that entity and Syracuse and so on and so forth. That's really well. I continue making inroads into the government of the state. I was at some events, a number of events, which was, I did meet the governor. He knows where Zelto is. And I intend on pushing the state even further. I think we can do a lot with the inland ports. I think if we get busier, I think our numbers can improve greatly. We are quoting a lot of business. Some of them are successful, some of them are not. We were notified that we are going to lose salt this year. The salt contract that we had last year did not win the state bid. So now we're quoting other salt shippers. And we're competing. And it's a tough world out there. Some of them you're going to get, and some of them you're not. It's dollars and cents. I mean, that's all they care about. It's how much. I mean, there's no loyalty. Absolutely no loyalty. You can have friends out there. There's no loyalty. How much, when, and they want it in writing. They want no surprises. Salt is a commodity, but apparently we may actually not have any this year from the looks of it. I'm quoting some numbers, but unless it's a self-unloading. Self-unloading is the type that comes in with a belt. By the time we touch it, I mean, we're talking $25,000, $40,000 for our labor. You kill the commodity. I mean, it just cannot be competitive. We were talking to this one guy this morning, grabs are those things that go down and lift. We're talking 3 or 4 days alongside, $80,000, $90,000. I mean, whatever cargo you have.
Where would that business go?
It's a lot of it is going to be Ogdensburg. A lot of it is Buffalo. A lot of it is central. We found that at Port Authority, New York, New Jersey is doing fine. Thank you very much. A lot of it is going to be supplied by the local mines. Local mines. So Canadian salt is short this year. Canada is keeping its salt.
Is there a way for us to get competitive?
Labor is way down. And,
How about machinery?
Self-unloader, but it's right now our labor is the biggest issue. I mean,
Ogdensburg has.
Ogdensburg also lost some. Ogdensburg also lost the same salt. What Ogdensburg has is what they have left over from last year. They didn't get any either. It's North American salt that we deal with. They lost the contract.
What's the most efficient means? Is it like a vacuum
No,
situation?
it's self-unloader. The
Oh,
belt comes
okay.
alongside, just unloads.
Okay.
Just
Long
unload.
tube come right down and they
Unloads.
It's a big cone of salt.
Yeah, they believe.
Nobody touches it.
Yeah,
Nobody touches it.
but it's, I also quoted metallurgical coke, which I'd rather have that, to be honest, than salt. Salt is really hard on our equipment. I mean, we make some money, not much. So metallurgical coke is actually very promising, and that goes to Buffalo, and that's year round. I'd rather have that. It's so much better. I'm quoting some large shipments of corn with the guys next door, with the ethanol plant. He's short of corn.
Where would the coke go, though?
Sorry?
Where would the coke go?
Buffalo and the Rochester area. There's a bunch of
Smelters up there?
yeah.
Really?
Okay, I'll go for it. I mean, actually makes a lot of sense. It's I looked at it. I looked at the data sheet. It's actually a decent product for us. I mean, it sounds bad, but it's actually very,
I
very
just
good.
didn't know anybody was smoking.
Yes, yes, yeah. So, and that, Buffalo, Philadelphia, that area, and it's cheap for them to ship it here and move it by a truck.
Shifting gears a little bit, there's one, one entry on accounts payable that I hadn't noticed before. North Shore Oil, where is that product going? It's 56,000 or 58,000 just recently, or
North Shore,
North Shore.
yeah, that's a fuel dock.
Fuel dock,
Uh,
how do we keep track of that? How do we audit that?
We have an independent account. I mean, the marina fuel does okay for us. It's
A courtesy to the,
it's not a courtesy. It's a decent profit margin. We also spent a lot of money on the marina. I mean, I did do a better job explaining it to the people that use the marina. They think we're making a killing. We're not. We spent over $10,000-$15,000 just here in the pumps running.
well, we can't account for it though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But you know, by the time we spend all the money,
Meter,
Everything's
every ounce that comes in.
everything's
metered,
metered.
okay.
Oh, yeah, everything's metered.
It's electronically?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the marina does okay. We got to do better. At the rate we're going, it's difficult.
I'm just concerned about keeping track.
Oh, no, everything's accounted for, every ounce. I mean, it's just a lot of regulations. We got hit by New York State environmental, we didn't have the right sticker on it. That was another couple of $1,000s for a sticker. I mean, every time somebody comes over there, we need the test for allergy did not come back in time, and we didn't have a little yellow sticker on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
We got hit for that. I mean, it's every day we get hit for something down there. If it continues, we have to supply fuel. We don't want the fuel, but I'm actually having Lori run a spreadsheet. You know, I'll be above water or below water. It's between all the hits that we have suffered in there. It's incredible. Mary, you can attest to it. Marina's not an easy business.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's very difficult, I think we're okay. I mean, Commissioner, the chairman, actually, we met with him. We want to see what we can do to expand the fishermen, but it's a tight margin. Anything else?
I had one question. It would be helpful for the board members if these numbers had some explanation of what they are.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I'll explain.
All we have is-
I took it for granted.
There's no-
Yeah, basically what we do is, and I have to do credit to Scriber, because this is something I asked him to do, and he really jumped on it, and he did it. It's a discharge metric tons per hour. We get so many pieces in here, and we get 7,000 pieces of aluminum that come in. On an average barge, each piece up to 100, up to as many as 14,000 pieces per barge. Our contract with them says that we will discharge at a minimum rate of 200 tons per hour. As you can look at the numbers, we do well above that. And what that does, and we have to explain to labor, again, this benefits the shipper. The shipper benefits, we benefit in the long run. It saves them a couple of dollars. Right? Aluminum, if you look at the price of aluminum right now, price of aluminum is depressed. It's an all-time low. The wells could not be in a better business. All right, so the margins are very thin. The fact that we do better than average just gives them the inducement to continue to use this. If you recall, one of my first duties, besides catching pneumonia the first month, was to go up to Montreal, and I promptly got kicked in the teeth that the sport wasn't performing in terms of the throughput, in terms of labor, and they were going to look at alternatives. What this shows is we can meet your contractual guarantees, we can do better than the minimum, and we have done better than the minimum. But we have to continue to monitor. We monitor, as you can see, every hour by the hour. We know what's going on. And these reports actually go down to the manufacturer of the aluminum and Naleos. They both see what we do. So this way we don't lose any issues. There's no argument. If there's any questions, if there's any blips. The curve that you look at, some go up and down. When you see production fall to 300, it's usually equipment breakdown. I mean, we run the equipment hard for 10, 15 hours. I mean, those forklifts, if you're, well, they're in the last board meeting, you see them buzzing. Equipment does break down, tires explode, men get tired, I mean, things overheat. But we still go. We have to keep on pushing. If you don't push.
Zilko, could you have Bill put a average bar on here at the bottom
Well, we do, we
for
actually,
each barge?
for each barge, we keep an average, yeah, we could.
Maybe, you know, maybe there's some factors involved in the offloading process that,
It's, it depends how it's stowed, depends how the barge is laid out, depends, each, this is a teaching thing, each piece of aluminum has a letter on it, when you look at it. It's red, black, blue. Each one of those means something in terms of its composition. It means lot numbers, it means certain percentages. When the Velis calls for certain lots, that's what we pick from.
purity of aluminum.
Purity,
Yeah.
it depends what they're doing. They're doing fenders, are they doing firewalls, are they doing chassis, it depends what they're doing. You looked at that car this past Saturday. When they do each component's composition is different.
Okay.
We have to keep track of all of that. Not an easy thing to do.
One of the variables that's missing here, this is metric tons per hour, I understand that is helpful if you can add the label. But the other variable is how many men? I mean,
Okay, yes. I mean, men, 11 men, and weather, they include weather. Some of these are rains, I mean, we have rain, we have heat.
so they typically,
We have 2 shifts.
they're all the same number of personnel?
Yes.
Okay.
The men are consistent.
Okay.
Men are consistent. I may get a guy tired, and I may get tired, I mean, if we have relief out there, but typically 11 to 12 men.
Is that a union thing?
All union. Yeah, all union.
Doesn't make any difference how big the load is, or how big the barge is, it's always gotta be that certain amount of people?
I can ask more, the limitation I have right now is equipment. How many focus I have? The focus of the limitation, and the other limitation is the space out there. I cannot put 20, 30 people out there, they crash into each other, it becomes ineffective. If you look at last time, 11, 12 men, I have men waiting, queuing. I mean, I can afford it, but they just sit around. I don't want them to sit around. I mean, yeah, I tried 15, and it just doesn't work. One of the things that we have been rather effective is we carry more, we carry a shorter distance. Right? And to be honest, this is okay, we should do better. You gotta do better. Other ports do better than we do. They have these bigger pieces of equipment, they do better than we do. I mean, we're doing good compared to last year, a lot better. We can do better. Toledo beats us.
Better,
Better fat,
what
more.
sense better, they're not unloading aluminum, are they?
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, yeah. Their average is a lot higher, they're in the 500s.
Your average is 500.
Yeah, 500,
Because of what, bigger lifts?
bigger list.
We're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, but we're moving in the right direction. I mean, if you recall, you approved the lease of the bigger lists.
Right.
They're coming, November, maybe late, but we'll use them during the last fall.
Can I ask a safety question, why those guys don't wear hard hats out there?
Some do, some don't. They all start out in hard hats. It gets pretty hot out there.
I realize that, but heads are soft.
I know. They're in cages, and we bought out the last time. We actually pointed it out to the union. And yeah, not particularly on the last part. The last part we hit anyway. They were hard, they were passing out. Yeah, hard hats. The new vehicles will actually have will have cages, but still hard hats.
I should look at the hats that breathe better with ventilation of some sort.
Right. Yeah,
Still, they're spraying,
yeah,
but
right,
you get circulation of air.
yeah. I'll make a
I
note.
don't think
You know what, I'll give them a note. And if they don't wanna wear it, I'll just send them home.
What's gonna happen when you hurt, when they find a
Oh, yeah, no, I'll send them a note.
Especially head injuries.
No, I'll send them a note.
I mean, that's, I think you have to teach them.
Oh, yeah.
We're the ones that get stung down.
No, it's, there is no, I mean, there is no work around safety. I don't put up with it. People don't comply, or just, there's other people that will take these jobs.
I work jobs with hard hats and heat, and they aren't that bad.
I know.
They do bend some.
I mean, that will, because they actually don't stand on top of your head, they actually stand on top of your
Yeah,
head,
they're
circulation around.
suspension,
Yeah,
Zero tolerance.
I'm good at that, you know
I
that.
know you.
I think I should be, they're almost probably.
Don't empower me too much.
Rail around inside that car.
Remember, previous meeting, metric ton is approximately 2,240 pounds.
I mean, I'll give you another fact, each one of those sows is about 1,800 pounds, 18 to 1,700 pounds. Those particular sows are cast in sand. The person that got hurt in the loss did not fall on that particular sow. There's another particular aluminum bar that's in the yard that's very shiny, and it looks like a key. I mean, it's being taped, I'm not tell you what happened down there, but people are looking at it. But needless to say, it's not this type of aluminum.
Any other question? Any other comment? You go make a report?
You know, I do have a PowerPoint presentation, if you would be obliged to listen. It's something that I gave in June, and I have, being a high-tech that I am, I have the TV working.
This is something I asked Elko to do because I have seen this before, and he just gave this as a report at the Great Lake Ports
The
Association.
magic stick.
It will give you a perspective of where the port is now, and what do you think?
So just in case you were wondering how many Zelcos there are, I have accounted for it. In the US, we have close to 380 of them. Now, this is the way I spell the name. Zelco. There's another version of spelling. There's something people are dealing with Louisiana. There's a J in it.
This stuff has kept me awake at night.
I know, I was wondering myself, so that's what I did this.
I'm glad.
Then again, I'm big into comic release, the vision, and what we are to do. This is what a container terminal looks like. As a matter of fact, not many people recognize this is Port of New York. This is something else. I'm not saying in the entire future, but one day these are the lifts that manipulate containers. One day we'll have a trade and we can talk about it. And this is our core business. This is our facility. That's why I explained to folks. This is where we are. This is where this is where our fingerprint is. The objective. Many different languages.
Very good.
Right, and I did it on purpose. I would challenge you all to tell me what the languages are. But you're not going to get all of them.
French, Portuguese, Polish,
And
and
a lot of Italian,
Spanish.
Spanish, right?
Oh,
French,
okay.
French.
Of course, it's obvious. Yeah, put that in there.
Croatian?
Yeah, Croat, yes. So I did that. Oops, one more. But this is what we handle. This is what I tell folks. This is what we handle. We handle bulk, corn, wheat, potash, salt, soybeans, recycled aluminum, steel, cement, fuel, great bulk aluminum, steel. I'll look at anything that I can get across these docks. I will quote on pretty much anything, the mineral components. That's what we look at. When we're about the economic impact, jobs. These are the deals we talked about before. In fact, he's not wearing a hat either. This guy is.
No
Hard
harm.
hat is nice and safe. All right? He helps them.
No harm.
So we're about jobs. That's what we're about. This is our aluminum. This is our field. These are the cells I mentioned before. very positive impact is, and the chance, our greatest chance is in this area right here. The soybeans, and that's something we're discussing for New Jersey. The potential for growth is in soybeans is enormous. In fact, not many folks would know, even in this room, the export soybean to Asia right now. And not a little, a lot. Tremendous opportunity in soybeans. This is something we're talking to railroads. There's a potential in the very near future, not this year, probably early next year, we'll be loading containers here and sending them to New York. What that means for folks up here, the current rate for a container, for a truck to go to New York is about $1,600. I can get a container loaded, ready to move on ship, shipped to New York for $600. That's a lot of money.
Big savings, yeah.
Huge amount of savings. Needless to say, the chairman was there with us. Port of New York is extremely interested. This is something we're going to be advancing in the next couple of weeks.
That's all New York soybean?
All New York State. So our vision for the port, again, and I'm not trying to be, our customers are many. We're more than Spiegel. I think I said that many times. I'm not sure that's getting in. These are inbound cargoes. This is where aluminum comes in. We deal a lot with Hartford. We deal a lot with Virginia, Norfolk. This is where a lot of these soybeans go right now. We actually take soybeans, put in rail cars, go all the way down to Norfolk, Virginia, into a bulk ship. Bulk ships are ships with cargo holds. We dump soybeans in them, out they go. Very inefficient, very expensive, not too many bulk ships around, very difficult to get to go to Asia. Not very effective. A lot of our aluminum moves to Dallas, Memphis, actually trucked out of here, actually railed out of here. Once we get the intermodal center going, I believe this is going to get a lot heavier. We're getting a lot of inquiries right now. This is the other map that's right here. This is the New York State Railroad map. Right here. Tremendous potential for us moving down this way. A lot of interest. A lot of interest from agricultural folks, a lot of interest from industrial folks, powdered milk. I discussed some of these opportunities with Commissioner Schumann last Friday. A lot of interest. We can make New York farmers very competitive worldwide. Of course, this is our intermodal center, which the mayor tonight helped sign. We had a little hiccup. We didn't get started because of a planning issue. This is what's going to make it happen. The fact that we can load these train cars, right, move them out, and in unit basis, which means 60 rail cars apiece. And it would be loaded here, perhaps integrated in Syracuse. We can elaborate a little bit more on that. We've met with the 2GI folks as well. There's a lot of movement in that particular arena. A lot of movement. It's called a intermodal port, inland port, consolidating all these boxes. We can be a major player in it. That's something the governor wants. That's something we discussed with his staff, a great deal of interest. What that means for you all, for us all, jobs. Good jobs. And these are the containers I talked about. These are some of the loaders. This is the aluminum I talked about. This is where our grant that we recently applied for. This is, we are constructing this rail. We are constructing all these sides in here. The grant that we have would pave some of this structure and some of the lighting. And I do want to, I thank the mayor last time. He really helped us get this through the city council. He was instrumental in it. I mean, I took some hits, he took some hits as well. Of course, you all seen this before. We're working here, we're going to be working here. This is the current footprint. One, we're working on. Two, I'm talking to folks. Commissioner Ken Stevens asked, will I have interest? Yeah, I'm talking to a lot of folks. The trouble with two is I don't have a good way of getting to it. It's every time you have to load something and move it at $89 an hour, it's expensive. And again, this what I talk about all the time. We can do the environment. You all know me extremely positive. We can do positive local leadership, county, city, economic development organization, help improve New York, New Jersey, CSX, Norfolk Southern, Union Pacific, good labor force, state development incentives. New York, we can do it. This is where I take out, and this is where I preach. And I've gotten, I was in Detroit recently. This is where I talk about. This is where I talked about with coal folks, anybody who's willing to listen. I can turn customers, and I usually do not let go until you have to hear something. What will it take to get the vision accomplished? We have to market ourselves. We're not really well known outside New York State. I mean, for many, it's the first time they actually heard of Port Oswego. They don't knock on your door. You gotta go and knock on their door. Do I like to travel? I hate travel. I get stuck all the time, apparently. But you know, that's what it takes. Port of New York, New Jersey, major role. It's a big player, international player. They're interested. They're here to help. They truly are. They'll sign pretty much anything. Railroads need to buy into our project, into our vision. And they are buying into it. I have Nathan Fenner buying into it. I have Norfolk Southern buying into it. Commissioner Schumerholm kind of helped me with some contacts. It's rather positive.
That fourth bullet, what coordination efforts have been used so far, and how many central New York ports are there?
I have to talk a little bit about it. I mean, I'll give you some. I have contact with Rochester. I have contact with Albany. I have contact in Augsburg, and I have not contacted Buffalo yet. And I have contacted even Port of Syracuse. All very much interested. We need to work together.
So there's no rivalries that would,
You know what? Of course there are rivalries.
Yeah.
I mean, ports are the worst type of entities. You know, oh, you're going to steal my business. I'm not interested in your business. I'll even sign an agreement to that effect. I'm not going to steal the tenants. I'm interested in working together. I'm interested in working together with state government. I'm interested in working together with the federal government. Right? We do this with Great Lakes Sports Association. I cannot corroborate on price. I cannot corroborate on certain other things, but I can learn from each other as far as projects. We can learn from each other as far as working together, going to see the federal leaders, versus all individually going to see those federal
Seems like it'd help out agricultural first and foremost.
tremendously.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
Let me just make one point. Any discussions that are underway with any of the entities that Zalko was talking about have to be done with understanding that there can be no agreements made, no prices fixed, nothing like that.
It's actually
It's absolutely illegal.
Right.
This is a way to get people interested in cooperating, becoming part of a larger system, maybe working that would benefit each other. There are a lot of things you can do, but there's nothing to do with a
We can have,
coercion.
it's federal, I mean, you go to jail. I mean, federal price fixing.
So there's an ethics standard that has to be reached.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to, I'm not going to take credit. I didn't invent this from scratch. This was a live entity. It's called Company, Central Ports in New York. It was a live entity in the 40s and 50s. An entity like that actually existed and disbanded. I'm interested in revitalizing it. Why? You have Port of New York, you have the railroads, now dealing with 6 different entities. They prefer dealing with one. Get us together in a room as a group. A lot of time and energy gets spent unnecessarily. And benefits all. Schumer's around 6, 7 different people over here, likes that at times, but it helps them to meet with that entity. What is it that you need? How can I help you? Dredging, we all have dredging needs. We all have railroad needs. A lot of common needs, right? Congressional delegations. Many instances they're the same. So, state government has been extremely, I tell you, I cannot say enough about Cuomo. Extremely positive. He wants this to happen. You know why? Again, jobs, good things. I mean, man is not dumb. He knows what he wants. He knows what's good for the state. By coordinating it, we get things in here. And then this is the last bullet, and we had a lot of success in private, public-private partnership. We actually met with a person. In fact, I think I'm going to bring him down next month to explain to you how much a private partnership is willing to invest into this whole venture of Central New York Ports. That's quite a bit of money. Vision challenges. fiscal models, labor flexibility, operating costs, land efficiency, Oswego, parochialism, not easy, marketing, high cost. People get jealous. Rex, took me a while to get this done. This was not easy getting
You're
a
gonna
picture.
sign up
That's
for
all.
next week?
Nice.
But that's what I put on the road, that's what I discussed with folks, that's what I discussed with entities. This is something I did in front of the chamber, this is where I did it in front of the local entity here. And I vary it according to the audience, but the message is one, I'm an extremely positive person, yeah, we can do it. And I told the guy this morning, discussing salt, I'll paint the salt, I'll do whatever you want me to do, as long as you pay for it.
There's a problem.
Yeah, it's here.
There's a problem.
Yeah, the smell.
Any other questions? Well, I have a report also, but we'll wait till after executive session. No report from the attorney. Old business, there is no old business before us. There's one item of new business.
This new business, and I have to give credit to one of the commissioners in terms of what he is. We're about to embark on this contract, the River construction, and he actually brought up a good point. It's going to be fast moving. We're scheduled to start this week because of the hiccup with the planning, the planning provision. It looks like we're going to start the following week. Well, what I'm asking for is that, and I will report to the board where it's a 10% standard. It's a change order that I do not wait for the board to meet, and I do not act. I just prove it in accordance with our understanding. I will report to you where I approve, what I didn't approve. I think one thing I did demonstrate for you in the 7 months that I'm here, I'm extremely frugal, I'm extremely good with the board's money, and I would not spend it unnecessarily, but the drive is going to be to complete as much as possible before the winter hits. We are doing some novel things out there. It's called paved concrete. We gotta get going. I cannot afford to have delays. I cannot afford to have any hiccups out there. Otherwise, I'm not going to get it done. And worst thing of all, we're going to lose the money. And that's not going to be a good day. You want to see me ticked off and cry like a baby? That would happen. What this would do is speed up some of the contract, and it would enable me to work with the contractor a lot better, and actually negotiate a lot better. But once he knows that I have the final authority, it will put me in a decent position. One thing I would tell you, I would report every incident. You have full accounting of it. And if there are big items, I'm going to double check with a few of you anyway. Chances are I'm going to double check with the chair and the finance chairman, just to make sure that they're both on board.
Good idea.
Thank you,
So,
Stevens.
Zelco has included in the agenda, the item 4, resolution,
Yeah.
which will authorize the executive director to approve any necessary change orders on behalf of the board for up to 10% of the Oswego Modal Center Rail contract if necessary. And given the conditions that he was talking about, is there an order, is there a?
Yeah, I would move that.
Support?
Yeah.
Mr. Stevens?
Support.
Mr. Smith? Is there discussion?
Now, would this be a maximum monthly, or would this be a maximum per change order?
What I'll do is maximum of the whole contract.
Sure.
For the whole contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it's done typically,
Yeah.
that's how it's done.
Anything over 10%, you gotta come back.
Definitely.
I
And I
would
would
agree.
report to you, no matter what I do.
And that would be what I would enter
Yeah.
as a reference.
It was your idea, actually, I have to.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's, you can mention, every
Well,
other report is done.
Been around construction a little bit.
That shows.
And the way it's
Well, it's
written would
in-
indicate the
yeah,
terms
it's in
of the
the
contract, so.
Any other discussion, questions? All in favor of this resolution, it is resolution number 0729-1402.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. discussing matters relating to a personnel issue.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. We're now in executive session. Kevin? It's not a public meeting now.
That one's
done.
We're on.
Motions in order to resume regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Mr.
Okay,
Stevens,
yeah,
Mr.
change
Brown.
that.
Mr. Stevens, Mr. Brown.
All right, so you did this one.
So just scratch it out.
You know,
And-
there's no eraser on that. Nah, there-
All in favor of resuming regular session?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous among the body. I said I would have a report, and then we'll, unless there's anything else, is there anything else that comes up, you want to come before the board here?
Are we ready to adjourn or do before?
No, I have a small report.
Do you mind if I hit the men's room?
Shall we take a 5-minute break?
Appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
think Ken and I have some kidney problems.
Did you want these back,
2 minutes.
Terry?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they don't get
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
where they shouldn't be.
Just get them all to Delco. You know, last. Thank you. In our last meeting, gentlemen, I gave you a couple of documents that, one dealt with J-Coke and one dealt with workplace violence policy. I said there'd be some more stuff coming out. Well, this is more stuff. And what I have here is, and I got a couple other things to hand out to you also, some stuff that I had run across that I didn't know, or you'll see there's been lots of changes over the last few years in New York State. I did find, this is one of the things I mentioned in the last meeting, one of the things we need to start looking forward to developing is a board members handbook. This is a Port of Authority board members handbook I found out, Zelko found it. It was on file here. And I read through it. It was signed by, no date on it, it was signed by, it was developed by Thomas McCausland, the executive director. It is woefully out of date. It was when it was developed, I think, and basically it's completely useless, but this has, oh, I read it, I mean, there's nothing in it that's of any value. But it was a handbook, and you can have copies of it made, if you want me to make you copies, you can read it, and I think you would agree with me exactly that it was, oh, this is an employee handbook, a board member handbook.
How far back do you think mine gone?
Well, I don't know, but Tom Collison was the executive director before Jonathan, and he was there for quite a few years. He was there when I was the mayor, so he was there for 15 years or so. And this is the Thomas McCausland building, and he died in office, and Jonathan was hired after.
Oh, okay.
If it's not worth anything, you can save a tree on my accord.
So I mean, it would be a waste of your time to read it. But
Yeah, okay.
if you want it, if you're looking for something to put you to sleep, maybe, or, but it was something.
Warm milk.
I would say
I
that
like bourbon.
the environment changed dramatically in 2005,
Yes.
and so that's why this is woefully out of date. New York State said they're going to crack down on their authority, and so we came with a whole lot of new information. So what I have done for all of us is to collect some stuff in the last month or so and give you a list of things. I'm not going to read these to you. You may not want to spend a lot of time, but there's a lot of information here. In the last meeting, Ken asked, what is the ABO and what do they do? And so a lot of this I got right from the ABO website. And the address is in here. And so I've listed these, and you have a directory of what are the documents. I just want to go through quickly. I'm not going to read them to you, but tell you what they are. The first document, they're all numbered in the upper right-hand corner, number 1. This is titled Responsibilities of the Independent Authorities Budget Office. And you will see that there are 2 dates that are listed on every page, 2005 and 2009. And those are the years of the 2 critical pieces of legislation in New York. One was the Public Authorities Accountability Act of 2005, and the subsequent act was the Public Authorities Reform Act, PARA 2009. And everything you do as a board, everything the Port Authority does in terms of reports were listed and developed and enforced by the Authority's Budget Office. They were given by the 2009 legislation the authority to do everything needed to bring all of the authorities in their state in line. Okay, so number one is responsibility. You can see, go through there and go through that and see what the Authority's Budget Office.
So this is the table of contents,
That's the
and
table
these
of
are
contents.
numbered?
That's
Yeah.
right. So number one, number two is I just printed these off their website. Compliance review process. This is what what they do. They, if you look at the first paragraph, they enforce the compliance of the public authority, period. Okay? Then number three is again, Authority's Budget Office policy guidance, enforcement powers of the Authority's Budget Office. That tells you what authority they have, what powers they have, and how they discipline authorities who fail to conform. Public warning, they can censure them, and then they can recommend other things that the state legislature might get involved with. Number four is board member training. New York requires board members to be trained. And I have to tell you, when I saw this again, I wasn't shocked, I had forgotten. I don't know who here has not been trained. I have been trained, Tom has been trained, John.
I don't know.
I think that's it. That's when we went to.
We went to Rochester, they had.
Oh, I didn't go.
Okay, so you have, I don't think anybody from
Me,
you on
all the way
has
around.
been trained.
Right.
So we need to get, and I'll take care of this, I'll find how we do it. We need to have training, it's required. Now, they sent me a PowerPoint presentation. I am not authorized, this is number four. I am not authorized, I have not been approved to be a trainer, so I can't go through that PowerPoint presentation. We all went to Albany, and went to Rochester. First I went to Albany, and then the rest, and 2 or 3 of us went to Albany. Maybe more than that went to Albany, and then there was another one that we saw in Rochester, and when I saw this, and when I just got an email from Jacob recently, about information, I said, all about it, that people here have not received that mandatory training, and I'll take the name for that, I forgot it. You've never been told. Jacob sends me stuff, unbelievable, they're sending me emails all the time. I've never received an email from ABO reminding me that I need to do X, Y, or Z. And so I had forgotten to tell you that we all need training. All the board members who have not received training have to have training. It's got to be approved by ABO. There's a whole program. It took us, we had a morning session and an afternoon session. I think they probably shortened it up. And I think they have some webinars, so you can actually do it as long as you're sitting in front of
The
us.
second paragraph on the last page explains the training that's expected.
Yeah. That's right, and it has to be done by the person who they've approved.
If we've gone through it once, do we go
No,
through it again?
it has to be board training, you have to have board training.
As soon as you retained it.
So
Yes, well, they may change things.
Too
So
bad
I'm
you
gonna
can't do it
find
on
out,
site.
I'm gonna find out how we get that. We might have to have a meeting, if we can do a webinar or something through ABO, or we may have to
Go there.
I'll apply and see if they'll approve me to give the presentation. If that's the case, then we can do it right here, and I'll just show that, it's a canned thing, I don't have to learn anything more than what's all there. They gave us booklets.
They went in Oswego a couple of years ago. I went to it again.
I'd go again, but
Yeah,
anyway, I'm gonna see if I can do it, if I can fill out the form, if they approve it, I'll do it. Otherwise, we're gonna have to figure out a way to do it. And I will tell them, we have some people who've not been trained, and some are beyond the dates, they should have been trained, supposed to be trained within a year of taking office. Okay? And I had forgotten that completely. Number 5, this is just something I thought you'd be interested in. This is Board of Directors' duties and responsibilities. This is actually in existence in the city of Newburgh. City of Newburgh Industrial Development Agency, right away. And we've never developed a document like this. I don't know if there's a requirement for us to develop a document like this. I'll find that out for sure. I don't think so. But it gives you an idea of what board members are expected to be, to do, to believe, to behave, whatever. Duties and responsibilities. So that's number 5. That's informational completely. Number 6, this is from ABO. This is not another headline on it, it's from ABO. Board of Directors, the first one I gave was duties and responsibilities. This is ethics and responsibilities. All right? And there are several things that are listed there. And you can go through those. And this is something, you aren't going to read these all in the next few days. But it's stuff you need to look through and be familiar.
Any highlights, anything that you?
No, they're improved. Gifts that may be accepted by officials, penalties for violating, mandated ethics training. You've all had the mandated ethics training. What's the effective date of the law? What employers are covered by these? Then it's into workplace violence, which I already said we need to do. And so we'll be doing that too. No, this is all information, Zocco.
See, it says I can feed you.
Yeah, you just did, you just went to one of those.
Number 7, this was,
Fiduciary.
acknowledgement of fiduciary duty. And this requires a signature. I asked Debbie, she said her records indicate that everybody here has signed this statement. Okay? But it gives you an idea of what you're supposed to understand and agree to if you've forgotten as far as fiduciary responsibility is concerned. The next one, number 8. This is just a recommendation. A new board orientation. We have never developed any kind of new board orientation. The only people that any kind of orientation here that I can recall since I've been here is I tried to meet after a meeting one night with Ken Coates, with Kurt Coates and Ken Stevens. And I gave a bunch of stuff and said, our bylaws. But it can be a lot more. It can be a lot more than that. I don't know if there's any.
I can tell you, working in other authorities, we had a handbook, the new board would come on board, we meet the staff, we stole what was expected,
Right.
and then help them out, versus just throwing them to the fire.
Yeah. Everybody who said Ken and Kurt got just thrown to the fire.
Actually, I read that whole packet, it came in a little blue thing, yeah, you gave it to us.
I read it.
Well, this is what was in existence. I didn't know this until a week ago. I wondered that Thomas McCausland gave, and if I had known it, I would have given it to you anyway. Just completely new. So new board member orientation. We should put together a board orientation, and it tells you everything that should be in there. If you look through this, it's pretty impressive. And what I'm handing out to you now probably ultimately should be part of a board member orientation package anyway. Number 9, I thought this was really interesting. Frequently asked questions. And like, what is the ABO? I mean, this sort of gives you even that. We go down through, ask the questions you might have that haven't come up. As soon as you see them, you say, I wonder about that. Answers to frequently asked questions. And I thought it was very interesting. It would be helpful for you.
Interesting.
So this is the first 9 documents that constitute this packet I'm handing out. The second bunch, document number 10, which annual board of directors evaluation. Now I only learned about this a couple of weeks ago. Debbie was filling out forms that have to be sent to ABO. And they expect a ton of stuff coming from us that they keep on file. And one of the questions was, have the board members, has the Port Authority board members done their annual evaluation? And Debbie asked me. I said, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Is this a self-evaluation?
Board self-evaluation, yes. We're supposed to do, we're required to do this annually. And I didn't know this until 2 weeks ago.
Assessments.
And not only do they tell you why and what you're supposed to do, they give you the actual exam. The form, you're supposed to fill this in anonymously, discuss it anonymously, and you should come to some sort of a, discuss it as anonymous form. And it tells you what you're supposed to do, compile.
And it says it's supposed to be compiled by the governance committee.
Yeah, the governance committee.
And that if, what's it say?
And it gets
To the
sent.
extent the results demonstrate need for board to improve its performance and its practices or procedures, blah, 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 the board is expected to implement suitable corrective action
Yes.
immediately.
Yes, exactly.
Are these self-reported?
These are we do this, the governance committee evaluates them,
Oh.
presents a report, which has to be sent to ABO. They don't have a report for the board, from this board of directors, because nobody even knew about it till 2 weeks ago. So this is something that we are woefully behind, because this went into effect in 2009. Well, it was in the para 2009.
So basically what we do is each member does one of these evaluation sheets,
Yes.
and then probably we have a score sheet that gives, how
Well,
many,
agree, some would agree, some would disagree.
some would
And
disagree,
there's
yeah.
gotta be a final report, where we've got a lot of disagreements and agreement, and somewhat disagreements, we've got some things we need to change.
Right. Get audited probably by some other agency.
Well, they expect you to consider these things yourself, as far as I can tell. And
Okay.
present to them, and if you make a presentation to them in a report for them this year, and it hasn't improved next year, well, then you're not doing your job.
Okay.
And so the academic assessments do the same thing.
Huh?
We do the same thing in the academic, are you do those, John? The self-assessments?
Well, I have to confess, I did not
Sort
know
of,
this.
yeah.
And so I'll be trying to put something I'll be dealing with this in somewhere in the next few weeks at least. Number 11 was an article, or a document written by Anita Lermont, who is the Senior Vice President, Legal and General Counsel of the Empire State Development Corporation. That's a state agency.
Yeah.
And this is something that she wrote in December 2005, just before the authorities Act of 2005 went into effect. It was a public authority board member duties. This is what her look at the legislation suggested need to be the responsibilities, duties of board members of a public authority. All right? I'm making no comments about this. I'm just telling you this is the document that I ran across, and I thought it was cogent and important. Then the next document, number 12A, 12B also reports, deals with the same issue. 12A is the executive director and board relationship.
Oh, I gotta read
I
that.
didn't have those, I got a whole bunch of these sheets.
Well, then I'll have to give you.
No, that's okay.
Look, you just
I'll
take,
listen extra close.
okay, you give it back and here it is. Mike Carroll's, and I'll make a correction. I'll put the ones that are missing in Mike Carroll's. I'll give it to him. I apologize for this. Check and see if that, we're looking at 12A.
12A.
And the second, this tells you what the board, what the executive director's responsibilities and duties basically are, what the board's relationship. This is the relationship between the two entities, the executive director and the board. Directors have fiduciary responsibilities or are required to act within the authority primarily for the organization's benefit. Directors do not have power or authority individually. The board's decision-making ability lies in its group structure, etc. It gives you an idea of how things are.
I mean, it doesn't highlight any of it. It means that board members provide counsel to management, should not be involved in day-to-day affairs of the organization.
Yes. Yes, exactly. The second one, this document, the second one, 12B, is board versus executive director roles. And there's some overlapping. The point was that it gives us all the perspective. All of us were thrown into this without any real understanding of what we're getting into. Then 13A is what role does the board chair play? What is the relationship with the executive director? And then 13B is from a legal organization, an online legal organization, a legal flip. And this is roles, this is the chairman of the board's roles. 13C is from a corporation called FlowServe, and this is from their own organization, role and responsibilities of the non-executive chairman of the board. We're all non-executive, the only executive here is Zelton. There are chairmen of corporations where they're also executive, they can be a CEO, they can also be chairman of the board, but we're non-executive for all of us. So here's the role and responsibility of the non-executive chair. The 13D talks about the role of the chairman, the deputy chairman, the chief executive officer, and I forgot the fourth one. I guess that's it. And then one of the fun ones I like very much, 13D, effective board chair, executive director relationship. And it says not about role, it's about relationship between the board chair and the executive director. And the best results come from a good relationship. And the last one, 13F, for executive directors and boards, comma, chairman matters. So anyway, I thought that these would be useful.
Yes.
And maybe most of, at least some or most of these should be in a
Handbook.
handbook. When we have to get the total together. I just ran across, it's not in the packet, it's a 10-page document, I haven't read it yet, so I really want to give you something I haven't read. It's called the Board Chair Executive Director Relationship, Dynamics that Creates Value for Nonprofit Organizations. This is, we're fundamentally a nonprofit organization, the way we're actually structured. If that's something there that's more valuable or as valuable as I've already given you all, I will do that too. A couple other things, there are other handouts. I ran across something that's really good. I'll give a copy of this, I'm going to just pass it down. This is called The Dual Nature, this is written by a person at the Albany Law School. And it's titled The Dual Nature of Fiduciary Duties for Public Authorities, with May of 2011. I didn't give it to you because it's long. It was 26 pages. Here's just a cover page. If you pass it around, take the cover page, if you just type the title in, it'll come right up on Google. If you wanted to really see what it says, it's great. It was interesting to read. And you learn a lot if you read it. Okay. Second thing, I just got this. I do not think it refers to I was not able to get into the J-Coke website.
Oh,
I think it maybe was
just keep,
it's just a title. It's just a title page. Just if you're interested in looking into it, I didn't want to give you 26 pages to read. I already gave you enough. But it's highly recommended. All right. New York State Commission, Joint Commission of Public Ethics. This just came to me. I have not emailed it to you yet. I'm going to give it to you first, and then I will email it to you. There is something that just went into effect July 24th, and it has to do with public service announcements and having place in any kind of public service announcement. If you're any kind of elected official, 90 days before any election. It might apply to you. I'm sending.
Mayor. He's running.
And the last one I have is this one. This just came. It just came. I have not sent this. This came to me July 8th. This is a new website. This came from J-Coke. It's a new website and tip line.
Tip line?
Tip line to report misconduct anonymously.
They just established it.
Lower.
They established it, yeah, they got it right there. New website and tip line to report misconduct anonymously. The only reason it's worth being interested in is you never know who's going to be submitting a tip. A tip that may be real or not real.
Like specific, it says gifts, conflicts of interest, nepotism, abuse of official position.
Sexual harassment among others.
Uh-oh, you did focus on it.
Just look down through the list. I'll send it to you. You're gonna get the last two things that I got. When I get home tonight, I'll send it to you. It's worth knowing.
Yeah.
It's just worth knowing. This is brand new. J Cope's everywhere. Now they're really everywhere. They have an anonymous tip line. You can send it to somebody who wants to set you up. They can set you up. If they want to report on something real, they can do that too. Or maybe I should have reversed those. Okay? So, that's the end of my report. Everything that's here needs to be at least subconsciously absorbed. But we need to start looking at some way to correct where we're wrong. We need to have the members who have not been trained yet to get trained, and I'll find out how to do that most effectively. We need to go through an evaluation process, an intra self-evaluation, what's the word for it? Anonymous evaluation. And I'll try to put something together that I'll have somebody one of the committees that working on that. And then it goes to the governance committee to review. So there's a lot of stuff here, and don't just put it on a shelf and look at it. Actually, a lot of interesting stuff here, but someone's gonna give you a real enthusiasm. Geez, it's pretty good. This tells you how I can do stuff and really be effective. Be effective with the director, effective with the chair, and vice versa, and all this working together. I think it's a real attempt by the state legislature and this ABO organization to make an impact upon a system that was woefully out of control in terms of activities and finances and corruption. It was a laughing stock of the country. The state is in debt billions of dollars because of the independence of authorities and the failure of the authorities to maybe be on the up and up all the time. The most recent example is the New Jersey side is there are going to be people going to jail. It's that simple. Anyway, we're nothing like that. But this
And then we have the Port Authority of Oswego, which operates at such a high functionality that we're off the scale so well.
well,
I think we do a great job.
yes, I do too.
I do too.
I do too. But you can ignorance of what you need to do can get you in trouble. That's all. Sure. So I'm just finding this. I had no idea what was on the evaluation. No idea. I'd forgotten altogether that the new board members were supposed to be trained. I just forgot it.
Doesn't the state monitor any of this? I mean, it seems like
ABO is supposed to monitor.
Yeah.
And they've got some authority. I don't know if they do anything, but they've got some authority to.
they're probably like everybody else undermanned. And
Maybe what we find out is when we have to submit some sort of grant application and all the checks, and that's where we find out. That's how we found out about certain things. And even do we comply? One of the stops, FYI, of the rail project was, do we comply with the city of Oswego vision? And I actually have to get a letter from the mayor. It stops the whole project. $3 million project stopped.
I just bought on Canaan's sign, I haven't started reading it yet, and you give me more stuff to read.
That's education. That's recreational.
Yeah, okay.
This is educational.
Most guys,
Maybe not
when the
recreational.
snow is flying.
But there's a lot of stuff. I was
Yeah, I
shocked
agree.
by this. And I got most of this from the ABO website. You gotta dig into links and stuff there, and go to where they've got everything in one particular spot or some other spot. So you have to virtually go through every single line and find what's there that you haven't seen. There's quite a bit of stuff I haven't seen.
I did take the chairman, he's doing a great job. Commissioner Schermerhorn, great job in helping through audit. You all helped me through this, guidance, not that you tell me what to do, what not to do, but just guidance. And so you all help me to a certain degree, and you'll see I'll engage you even more down the line. we do have full plates, we have a lot going on, as you can see. Yeah, I was away for a little while, but I didn't miss much. I'll be hitting the ground running, coming back. There's a lot of good momentum, there's a lot of good things happening. I'm in Syracuse quite often. We are working with Center State CEO quite well. I intend on getting in front of the governor again this month. He certainly knows who Zelko is. And I intend on reaching out to some of his staff, Kennedy in particular. And I'll shut the camera off and I'll tell you what my next step is. And if you just hang on for a minute to shut that off.
Okay,
When you're ready. Yeah.
we need a motion to adjourn?
I make motion to
Is
adjourn.
there anything, any other business come before that? Motion in order to adjourn. Codes? Which codes?
I think,
Mr. Smith, all in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. We now stand adjourned. Thank you.